you know.
Well, you just 100% Final Fantasy 16.
It took me forever, but I did it. I'm a fucking crazy. That's a game of the year for sure.
Final Fantasy 16 was fucking good.
Game of the year's gonna be interesting this year. We got a lot of good picks.
I know Zelda. Like I played Tears of the Kingdom and Final Fantasy 16, and Final Fantasy 16 cleared it.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck.
Aren't they like 2 different games though?
They are, but I don't give a fuck. Like I would, if I was like there, I would give it to Final Fantasy 16.
I kind of want that other game to win. Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate.
Dude, Baldur's Gate.
That actually
fucks.
might fucking win.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate might win. Baldur's Gate goes fucking hard.
I need some different.
Yeah, I've been playing it. I've have 16 hours into the game.
Oh, you have it?
I haven't done a good goddamn
They
thing.
said that moved to the actual watermark.
Yeah.
Now, listen. This is before we start with the episode for Shirley. IGN dropped a video that was just like AAA developers are mad at Baldur's Gate because it like raised the level. No, it didn't.
Well, this comes from like people on Twitter was talking about like because there was some
I trust people on Twitter less than I trust IGN.
Because I think there was like some developers coming out saying that like, look, do not start expecting this from like I don't know where developer is from, but people are coming out saying like, look, this is like they were working on this game for like 15 years. Like, do not expect this as like the new standard. And people are like, no, this moved the water. But like it's not like the graphics were like insanely what making moving the watermark. It's like the amount of content.
It's a polish and the amount of content that the game has.
This is like what
I hate fucking conversations like that because it completely diminishes the process of game development.
Yeah.
And it completely diminishes like any nuance that is about like making a game.
Well, if
like
you
not all games are aiming to be Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Stop.
Well, if you have like any like knowledge of like gaming, any like insight on this shit, like you can understand the nuance of that. But like most people don't, so then they look at that.
That's why I think social media has been the worst thing that happened to movie criticism and game criticism in the last 10 years.
Well, movies I blame like the
CinemaSins
and shit like that. Yeah.
Fuck CinemaSins.
I don't know. I can't say what games. Like Angry Joe or something. I don't fucking know.
No, Angry Joe. That's weird.
Everyone wants to be a fucking.
I think Baldur's Gate fucking slaps, but I don't think it's gonna move the goalpost.
To consider its genre, I doubt it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there's no goalpost moving in gaming at all.
Yeah,
like there's no like a lot of people just build their own niche out of like the system.
No, I would have to disagree on that. I would have to say like Breath of the Wild because everyone fucking copied that same like open world thing forever.
They copied they can copy the formula, but there's no goalpost in quality that gets shifted from.
I think you're saying like. It's an expectation, like, hey,
like your game has to be as good as Breath of the Wild.
I don't know, like I think there are games that do move that watermark. I think like look at Call of Duty.
COD 4 did it.
COD 4 shifted how we look at like the controls for
Halo.
like a gun game.
See, but that's a mechanical expectation. Like the same thing happened in Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 changed the history of gaming.
Yeah, that's one of them.
But it didn't move the watermark. It didn't add like a quality control point. It just found something that worked.
The watermark is like what games strive to be. Like this, like you are trying to hit this level of expectation. Yeah. I'm not saying every game does, and that necessarily they need to, but there is a like where they're like, oh well, this is the new higher standard. This is like you're moving the A rank to an S rank type deal here.
Like what I think Bryan trying to argue is like I'm not expecting. Some people are. It's unrealistic.
Yeah,
I'm not expecting everything to be Breath of the Wild quality. I'm not.
Well, it's not even.
And
that,
I don't want the heart. I won't criticize that game for not being that way. Yeah. It's a good game on its own.
Right.
Like some people are not doing.
When Call of Duty figured out the control scheme for shooters and it was like clean, and other shooters started using that control scheme. Like for me, that's just like, oh, they found something that works really well for this genre. Other people are borrowing it, but that is not like moving the goal mark or setting an expectation. Like any other game can like be successful without using that. For me, setting an expectation means like every game now has to be like this, or like journalism and media criticize it for not being that.
Or you could call it like more of like a trendsetter type, or like I guess like in like Call of Duty sets the genre of shooter. So like games like after that, people are kind of compare the two. Like, is this good or as good as Call of Duty?
Yeah, I fucking hate when people do that.
Or the multiplayer or something like that. Like it's like an RPG or a open world game. Is it good or as good as Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom or something like that? Or I guess mechanically now it would be like Tears of the Kingdom. Like, does your game have nuances in the mechanics like Tears of the Kingdom does?
See, Well, we'll move on from this in a second because I do want to start the episode. But I think that the problem with that is that it like eliminates the possibility for any game that doesn't want to be like those games to be itself.
And then you have the audience.
Because it's all about... Sorry, go ahead.
Well, what I'm saying is like when a game does like that and it does move that magic, that like invisible watermark, it's like now fans come to expect it, and that's why
fans are fucking stupid.
I know, but that is your consumers, and that's who is just determining like that is the new watermark, because now it's like those people want that out of all these other games.
I've been in such a beat of like fuck the consumer and just make the product that you want to make in the last like 3 months.
I mean, that's and it's like should be the way it is. Like don't make the game that fans want, because fans don't know what the fuck they want.
What the fuck they want. Make the game that you want.
But that's what determines also the market and what they're going to be coming up with ideas with. So it's kind of like it's a give and take. I mean, there's not a lot of creative expression and freedom for AAA games with high and that's why typically indie games are really fun. But they're not massively selling too, because it's not what the major markets
Sea of Stars just sold 100,000 copies. Sea of Stars just sold 100,000 copies in its launch weekend.
Is it available on PS Plus?
It's available on PS Plus. Launch? I downloaded it. Yeah, but they were talking about sales. It's really good. I played the demo. Sabotage Studios made it.
Dude,
it's indie, like a retro RPG indie.
Fucking Spiral 4 might get announced this month or next week.
Yeah, well, 10 million copies sold for the Reignited. Is that what it said?
I don't ask for much.
I thought you were a Spiral hater. I thought you wanted them for...
I'm a Crash hater.
No, you're a Crash hater.
Yeah,
That's what
I never hated my boy like that. No.
Yeah.
God,
who's a Crash hater?
I am. Fuck that game.
I'm a hater. I don't hate him. Jealous of him.
Yeah. They hate us because they ain't us.
Dude, if they announce Spiral 4, that's all I want. That's it.
That's like
that's it. I'm not asking for anything much. Give me a new game with more levels, power-ups. It's really simple. Yeah. It really fucking is.
And make it look like the Ignited trilogy, right? Because the Ignited trilogy was amazing.
Yeah. Look like a fucking Pixar movie.
Hell yeah.
That's all I want. Just do it.
You'll get it.
I'm sure they will, since, Crash did so well that they're probably like looking at like, well, it's, what else could we do here?
They're brother-sister franchises.
Yeah.
They coexist.
Oh, yeah.
You want to get started?
Yeah, let's absolutely. Guys, welcome back to episode 133. Round of applause. We made it. Think about that. We've done 133 episodes.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've only been with you for like 60 of those.
Still a lot.
Yeah. You guys have done 133 episodes, but I've been with you for like 60 of those, I think.
Actually, I've only done
maybe more.
I've only done.
You doing the most?
Yeah, I've definitely done the most.
Yeah. Did you start by yourself?
No, I started with Tay.
Oh, nice.
We started this shit back in 2016.
Yeah. That's fun. Good times.
That was an old continuity.
Yeah.
This is the new 52 timeline.
Guys, if you're new here, we have a new episode every Tuesday for you. If you want to follow us any on the socials or anything like that, all the links down below if you're watching on YouTube or on any audio listeners. Whisper in your ear right now. But yeah, we're going to be talking about cryptids today. Cryptids, spooky animals.
Say that one more time.
Cryptids.
I can never spell this word. It's a T in it, right?
Cryptids.
Cryptid.
Cryptics.
You put a C in it.
Cryptics. Cryptics.
Stop.
No, not C. Cryptids.
It starts with a C. What do you mean?
You ends with a D.
It's C-R-I-C-R-Y.
Cryptic. Well, it'd be like cryptic, but it's like with a
You're
X.
fucking with me.
I'm not. I swear
It's a movie scene.
I'm not.
C-R-Y.
Wall Street.
This is Jordan.
TNA.
Jordan Belfort.
No, his dad.
C-R-Y-P-T-I-D. Cryptid.
That's what I'm saying.
You're saying cryptic.
No, I'm saying cryptic.
I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah.
No, cryptic is like
confusing,
vague, and unknown. Cryptid is the animals.
Well, just like the word, we're talking about mythological animals that are hard to find out in the wild.
Monsters exist.
Monsters exist. Is that what they say in Godzilla?
Yeah. Monsters exist.
Monsters exist.
So what brought up on this podcast, or what brought up on this topic, this past weekend, the largest Loch Ness monster hunt in the last 50 years was conducted for whatever. I don't know what reason brought this out, but like
about this, I looked it up before I came here. The Loch Ness monster.
Yeah.
Hunt. You do realize the Loch Ness monster is legend is really fucking old.
You also realize that it's fake.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. But this creature don't exist anymore, right?
No, it never existed.
I know, but if they're using by that logic, this thing is old.
Wait. What creature?
The Loch Ness monster.
No, but like you said, this creature doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, the Loch Ness monster.
No, I'm saying if it was real, right?
Yeah,
it's fucking.
You're saying it's a dinosaur. The was it Plesiosaurus?
Yeah,
that's what you're
trying to commit here.
What do you mean?
Stop it.
I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing?
I'm saying is if the creature was real, right?
And if it was alive at some point.
It's 2023. How long? This shit been doing it since we were little.
Yeah,
that's true.
No, well, I think it was discovered it got worldwide attention in 1933.
And if we can reproduce, we've probably seen these things.
That's what I always thought about. I was like, there's got to be more than one, right?
I've never thought about that.
Yeah.
I never thought about the fact that this thing's probably fucking dead if it ever was real.
Yeah, and it's always implied that it's one.
Yeah,
that's
there's
right.
never
could be like a hidden cave in there. They know about humans.
It's also in a lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you would have seen it if you had a colony of little fucking Loch Ness monsters.
You think this is what they talk about when they're looking for it? They got like flashlights in the water and they're like,
"Are we the bad guys?"
Are they? Just because we can, should we?
Should we be looking for this thing?
Does God hide in heaven because he's afraid of his own creations?
That's
it's almost the
villain
quote.
shit.
You think God?
Do you think God too lies?
No, that's from Spy Kids.
That's from Spy Kids. Yeah.
That's from Spy Kids.
Yeah, it's from Spy Kids 3. It's Steve Buscemi, and he goes, "Do you think God too hides in heaven because he too is afraid of what he's created?"
He's ugly, dude.
And he's talking about, was it the thumb people that he made?
It was the mixed animals on the island.
Yeah. Steve Buscemi was a
two?
genetic scientist, and he made some shit, and then they turn against him.
Remember, there was a spider monkey.
Everything's exploding. That's right. Everything's exploding in the background, and Steve Buscemi's looking out of the window, takes off his glasses, and says that line. And then the movie just goes on like he didn't just drop.
Dude, 5-year-olds thought it was hard as fuck. This shit's fire.
So
Peak
funny.
fiction.
No, who is the director? It's like Ben.
It's the goddamn Machete.
Yeah.
Robert Rodriguez?
Yeah, Robert Rodriguez. He's the one. Because they all have that look to it. That
He has that same the way he shoots
that
movies.
film filter that like it's in Mexico all the time.
Yeah, that fucking
Breaking Bad filter.
The Breaking Bad filter.
The New Mexico filter.
It's like a desert filter, right? It's like that tint.
It's a sepia red kind of color grade bullshit.
Love it.
Anyway, so yeah, this past weekend was the largest Loch Ness monster in 50. Did they find anything?
50. Of course not.
I think there's a new photo apparently.
There's of course. We have we can see someone's asshole from a satellite in the sky. You think we'd find it by now, right?
Yeah, but it's like things with we talked about this before with the UFO things.
Yeah.
Some equipment just aren't meant to capture shit like that.
That's true.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Crockett?
I mean, like, if you want to get like tinfoil hat on or anything like that, like, there could be also cover ups.
Why are they gonna cover the what is it gonna do?
I don't know.
Well,
it would be like
I am fascinated in that. What is the point of covering?
Well, okay, so like let's say hypothetically that it is real and everything like that.
Yeah.
It would be like a plesiosaurus is what it is described as.
Probably endangered species.
And a plesiosaurus. What's that?
Is that a dinosaur?
Yeah, it's a dinosaur.
Okay.
It is essentially this massive long neck whale type creature.
You've seen it before.
It kind of looks like a bronchiosaurus with fins, and then
most like era.
Yeah, it has like teeth, and then like this thing was like eating T-Rexes back in the like prehistoric.
No, it's too far in the ocean. No, it was eating like fucking fish.
Well, I like to imagine, like a T-Rex is like drinking water out of the ocean, and then the fucking thing just grabs it.
Hey, this is my dream career.
Oh yeah, this fucking thing.
Yeah, that would be like
a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
It didn't exist with T-Rex. T-Rex is older than that. I mean, younger than that. I'm sorry.
The Spinosaurus also didn't exist during the T-Rex. There's like what is all the creation? Like there's like the Jurassic. There's the
Credo something. The
Cretaceous era.
Yeah.
The Crustacean. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. The history's fucking crazy.
Yeah, they're all like millions of years apart.
All these animals are never existed at the same point in time.
So what the Loch Ness monster people are saying is that one of these plesiosaurus guys has survived throughout billions of years.
Technically, yeah, because like all the mountains that you see or used to be all under the water, and it just shrank, and it's just really like the lowest point, and then they just like I guess like ended up in a lake, or there's got to be like some underwater cavern that they're like they're going in and out
dormant in.
The fucking Godzilla and out. I think that's really fascinating to me because it goes against like all of biology.
Well,
because the reason they could exist was because of the large amount of oxygen that was existing in the Earth at the time.
I think. Well, I'm pretty sure like that would make sense for anything on land, but like in the ocean, I think nothing really changes other than the pressure.
I don't think that's true.
Because there's certain things that we think that went extinct like 14 million years ago, like the little about, like, but they show up on they'll show up randomly after like actually like there's new species getting discovered every time like there's a hurricane or anything like that. They blow up all this bullshit up on land and stuff, and then they're like, this thing we thought was extinct.
Yeah. No, I mean that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I just think a dinosaur would fucking bite it.
Dinosaurs are not a thing.
Yeah.
And before someone in the comments say crocodiles, no, they're not fucking dinosaurs. Alligators, crocs are not.
They're related to.
No relation. No relation.
They're not. What they're what the fuck are they?
Just
they're not their own thing.
Yeah, their own thing.
They just exist. They just kept.
They haven't evolved in a long time.
Sharks are also like
sharks just got smaller.
Actually, sharks are the only thing that has never been. They never evolved. You know, they only got smaller.
They got smaller.
They never changed their bodies. They were like they were built perfectly.
I love that interaction because you said a piece of information, and then he said it like he didn't hear that you just said that exact same piece of information.
Say? I just talked.
You said sharks just got smaller.
Yeah.
And then you said, well, you know, sharks just got smaller.
Yeah, they got smaller. Same with some snakes. The Titan boa. It's just a massive, oversized anaconda.
I feel like the Titan. I don't know about that. I just know sharks never evolved. They never evolved. They just got a little bit smaller.
Listen, before we get too in the weeds, let's talk about cryptids here real quick.
All right, we'll switch over to Megalodon here.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's also like if you want to stay in like subject there, Megalodon is also
Megalodon.
Which actually Megalodon.
No talking about
Megalodon. Actually did exist, but the why it's kind of like ruled somewhere in the cryptic zone is because people think it still exists. Yeah,
it's like the giant squid.
Giant squid exists.
Giant squid is real. Yeah, that shit's terrifying. Anyway, so cryptids, just quick definition about it. Cryptozoology is a pseudoscience and subculture that searches for and studies unknown, legendary, or extinct animals whose present existence is... Whose present existence...
It's the Men in Black. Dude. They're like, cut it out.
It's like a red dot.
Shit.
They're like, turn the podcast off.
Unsubstantiated. Yeah, turn it off. Turn it off. Particularly those popular in folklore, such as Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, the Yeti, the Chupacabra, the Jersey Devil, stupid name, or the Mokelemembe. Cryptozoologists refer to these entities as cryptids, a term coined by the subculture because it does not follow the scientific method. And it is considered a pseudoscience.
Yeah.
Because it's fake.
Is there like a modern day cryptic, all this stuff is like old stuff that we know of.
I've heard of a couple of modern day cryptids, but I can't think of anyone right now. Let me look it up. Let me look it up real quick.
Modern day cryptics?
Yeah, like
Lindsay Lohan or something.
What happened to her? She's still alive?
Yeah, she went to rehab, I think.
I love how I describe her as a cryptid. She's in prison? What'd you say?
She went to rehab.
She's the GTA girl, right?
Lindsay Lohan? No, she wasn't.
She sued for her likeness.
She sued for likeness, yeah. Mothman is pretty, the Black-Eyed Children.
I don't know what
that's
that
a pretty modern one.
I wouldn't say that's an animal, though. That's more of a...
Listen, I'm just fucking...
It's an animal.
I'm just reading the article, man.
Black-Eyed human?
The Black-Eyed Children. It's like a freaky folklore thingy.
Yeah, it's like it's demon kids.
Yeah, but like demon kids.
Demon kids.
But this is more like cryptics are more.
Well, this is why it's a pseudoscience.
Yeah.
Because even the community of cryptozoologists can't fucking agree on what a cryptid is.
Yeah.
Like some people think Bigfoot is a cryptid, other people don't think Bigfoot is a cryptid. Like the giant squid used to be a cryptid, but then it got confirmed. So now is it a cryptid or is it just a thing?
Then it goes from cryptozoology into actual
zoology.
Yeah, into actual zoology. Yeah.
But these people can't
Or like the
side.
What was it, like the liger or something like that?
The liger dog.
There was like it's like a hyena / zebra thing that they thought did not exist, and then in 1930s they had like a picture of it.
There's the last one of its kind that we're talking about. Like it's called like a dice or some shit. It's like a dog thing with stripes on it. And the last one was like 1930s or some
I want to
shit.
say 30.
I think exactly what you're talking about. But that was real.
It's fun. And cryptozoology could be like a legitimate science if it was just concerned with finding animals that are like suspected to exist, but like haven't been proved to exist. But then we threw Mothman and the Jersey Devil, and
I think your eyes like shifted around when you said that, like the Jersey Devil.
Like most of these are just straight up. Like there's some things that just can't exist.
Yeah,
like
some things just cannot. Like the Loch Ness monster.
I would give credit to the platypus.
But the Loch Ness monster is kind of like more, I would say, believable than the Mothman.
You know what's really funny about the Loch Ness monster, though? It has been not only like we can't find it, has been proven that it is a hoax.
Didn't they get the photographer?
They got the photographer told him exactly how he did it, exactly why he did it. The photographer came up with the negative for the picture. Like, it is a fake.
The photography is actually older than a legend, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. That's the thing. The photographer made it up.
The legend is older than the photography, though.
Maybe, yeah, probably. Maybe someone thought about a deep sea creature and the photographer just took a fucking photo.
The thing that bothers me is like, what if it did exist and it existed like in the 1800s and then it died and now we're just kind of like, where's it at?
That's a long time in terms of dinosaur time. That's like million years.
Well, that's what you think. Like, it's like, why we rule out like maybe it did exist maybe into like this at least the 1600s where that's where these legends come from and stuff.
Yeah. I think that there probably had to be an animal that was like a weird sea snake or some shit like that somebody saw once in the distance. And they were like, there's a monster in that lake. Don't fucking go near it.
The way it's shot, though, it looks small. Probably like 4 feet long or something.
Yeah, because the thing that the guy was holding it on was like less than the size of a person.
Yeah, it was really small.
It was like literally a tube.
You're talking about the Loch Ness monster picture.
It was like literally a tube with like some fake skin. Good talk.
Got quiet.
Yeah.
I was reading the thing. So the Loch Ness monster, known as Nessie, is a creature in Scottish folklore that is to inhabit Loch Ness, the lake, in the Scottish Highlands. It is often described as a large, long neck with one or more humps protruding from the water. Popular interest and beliefs of this creature has varied since it's brought to worldwide attention in 1933. Evidence of existence is anecdotal, with a number of disputed photographs and sonar readings.
Yeah.
They had sonar readings, huh?
Don't you wish you can just go back in time to the exact point and see what happened?
Yeah, me too. I do.
Like, what's going on?
It's
there?
what the fuck happened here?
There's a lot of things, though, like the JFK shooting. Like, you somehow had the ability to see the area.
Yeah, so
what's
see
going
the
on.
chaos of what was happening in there.
When you look at this picture, like someone doing a stroke with the water. The more I look at it.
Are you at where are you?
The wiki, where he read that from.
Oh, let me see. Sorry, I'm still in the fucking.
It just looks. Yeah, that can't be real. You just look at the photo and it's like, yeah, that looks fake as hell.
It looks fake as hell. Sure was. Oh, dude. Okay, so I'm looking at the list now. There's one called the Ningen. Or the Ninjan.
I've heard it
It's
before.
a Japanese one. It's so cute.
It looks so. I can see it from here. It looks so stupid. It's like a head and legs together.
And legs, it's awesome.
Oh, like a furry dog or something.
Anyway, yeah. So, how do we feel about that?
All right. So, what is?
Are we critiquing these? Like, are they?
Yeah.
No, I just picked out some lists. But
Yeah. I'm talking about
what
the chupacabra later because I just wanted to talk about my favorite cryptid because I think cryptids are fun.
Yeah, they're fun.
And I think it's fun to talk about how fucking insane
How did we get it
these people
started
are.
on this? Like, this started in a group chat.
It started in a group chat. I don't know what the fuck we were talking about.
You mentioned it, right? There's a Loch Ness monster.
That's what it was.
You sent us a link to it, and we were like, well, that's stupid. And then we just went down the rabbit hole, and then we ended up talking about how there's ghosts in your apartment.
Yeah, that's
and then we needed an episode.
All right, so let me let me sidebar real quick on this because you guys do not believe. Listen, did not believe
you
that
got defensive real quick. I didn't say I didn't believe you.
but you accuse me. You're like, nah, the ghosts aren't real. Ghosts are 100% fucking real.
They're absolutely not.
I don't get why you believe you do this.
No.
Look, ghosts are fucking real. I've had so many goddamn encounters with ghosts all my life.
It's schizophrenia, man.
It's not schizophrenia. No, for real though. I had a ghost whisper in my ear.
Yeah. I believe you. I believe that happened to you.
Yeah.
I just don't believe in ghosts.
Well, don't they say like it's generic shit, but when you die, a little bit percentage of your body goes away.
Yeah, like the weight. It's like the weight. There's a weight.
Know what it is.
It's like 0.3 ounces or like something like that.
We have no idea what it is though. So they say like, oh, that's the spirit or some shit.
Yeah, whatever the fuck. It's not.
See, I like to use like logic with just the shit like this. Like that could be like ghosts could be like beings from a different dimension.
Yeah. The beat that I'm on is that like quantum, like in terms of quantum physics, there could be something going on where like energy is being transferred and energy doesn't find the place to go and it like lingers.
I mean, you saw Interstellar, right?
That's affecting. Yeah,
that's straight up ghosts.
That's not ghosts.
No, he's middle of time.
Yeah, I know.
That's a guy traveling through the fourth dimension.
That maybe ghosts are on the fourth dimension.
Maybe, but that's what I'm saying. That maybe they're not ghosts. Maybe they're just like things that are moving in the fourth dimension. Like that'd be fun.
They made with the Tesseract.
Yeah, like I feel like that would be more fun than ghosts to me, because I don't know, ghosts just seem.
I don't understand why they're always evil and angry. Well,
they're not. I mean, there's definitely ghosts that are like. So my mom. The house where I had that experience in, my mom told me, and I know this house is haunted because the house is from like the Civil War era, and there's been a ton, and I'm not kidding, I'm not exaggerating.
There's when someone was outside the window.
What's that?
There's the one someone was standing outside the window.
No, but there has been so many people die in that house and around that house.
Was it like a Civil War shelter?
Yeah, they had Confederacy soldiers, I think, like being it was used as a hospital at one point just to nurse soldiers and everything. So I know a billion people had died in it, and the house has been in the family for like generations. And I remember my mom telling me that she would have her, like I think it was her aunt or somebody was telling her like, look, if you ever hear voices or anybody, they're just it's just our ancestors. It's like it's just their family, and then they're nice and everything. Yeah. And I've heard all my life that you could see orbs a lot in the house, like these glowing orbs would float around in the house. And my mom said she could hear, like she would wake up in the middle of the night and hear someone calling out her name. But she said she was never afraid or anything like that. Yeah. And I never got that vibe when it happened, but like it's like the most weirdest feeling ever, because it feels like I know I've told this story on the podcast, but just was quick context of like why I'm so defensive about this, because it happened. Is like me and two other friends were going in this old house. It's a huge 2-story house. We go upstairs, and then there is a like balcony that you can walk out on. So we walk out onto the balcony, and then there's a little room that you can go out there, which I guess it would be like a storage room or something like that. Yeah. We go in there. We kind of just, we're just messing around, and then we see some old photos. We just like look at them, really old ass photos, like creepy old photos, and then we just put those down, and then we're like, all right, let's just leave. So we're leaving. We shut that door. Two friends are in front of me. They're walking towards a door to go back inside, and I'm in the back, and we are like almost towards the door, and I just feel kind of like just this presence right behind me. Like it just feels like someone just walked up right behind you, and you can sense that. Yeah, I felt like but it wasn't like cold initially. Yeah, but when they spoke to me, which I still have no idea what the fuck they said. Like it's like they said, what my brain interpreted was said, hey, yeah, which they could have been something completely different.
The fucking ghost of Outcast.
But just so off, just so suddenly, that's what my brain processed what they was saying to me. But it was like a whisper, and it felt like they put their head next to my ear and they said it. Yeah. And then when they did that, that's when my blood just ran cold. Yeah. And that's why I think some people think that maybe the temperature drops or something, because when you sense it, it does. It puts this weird, eerie feeling in you that someone is behind me.
Well, it triggers your fight or flight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But it was like when that happened, it was not just me. It felt like they said it directly into my ear. And then my two friends turned around. Like I didn't say anything, but they turned around, and I looked at them. I'm like, did you hear that? And then we just bolted.
Yeah. That's why I can't. You experience it. I believe you're there.
They also they heard
had that experience.
Yeah. Friends can be like, oh yeah, I have to play along.
They must have turned around and saw how white my face got. Yeah. They I think they heard it.
Yeah. I have been in fucking disgusting, rundown, beat up, abandoned fucking places, like in the middle of the night, and I have never single, like I've never had an experience that was like that. And every time I did, it was a fox or just a scary dude walking around. So like I believe you. I'm not saying I don't believe that you
just never had your own weird experience like that.
It's just I've been alive 28 fucking years.
Have you ever had, like, I had my cosmic experience. You ever had that before?
Your
like,
what?
Cosmic experience.
Cosmic? I don't know what that. I don't know what you mean by
that. Astral projection and all that shit.
My dad believes in that shit. I don't. I've had weird dreams and like I've lucid dreamed to some degree, but I've never had anything like that.
You've never astral projected?
No.
I've done
astral project?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I've done it. I was doing it before I knew I was doing it.
Yeah, some people that's the case with people. I actually researched this shit into it.
Yeah,
people.
But my dad is a big believer in that. My dad is like, oh yeah, I can astral project.
But it's widely believed that you can astral project.
Yeah,
like that's like a known thing.
Some people can do it.
It's a common belief. I don't know if it's an accepted.
You love being a skeptic.
I am a skeptic.
He's that guy.
Shit.
Aliens. No, that was my strangest experience I ever had in my life, and I remember telling that like I was actually nervous saying it because it was like because I'm the guy who loves science and physics and all that shit. I want to see the truth of things. Yeah, that's also a thing where like, well, I experienced that. I don't know how to explain it, but I experienced it. But it's in the realm of like, was I dreaming or was I doing the technique perfectly? Because I know what I saw. I remember like yesterday. And I don't remember my dreams. I don't. I forget about them. But I know I remember I had a dream. Yeah. This the one I remember. Like I knew who I saw, what I experienced, and how I felt woke up. I did it twice in one day. Yeah. And last time, I've been trying to do it again, and I can't do it.
I've done something that could be classified as like experiencing astral projection. But to me, it's just... It hasn't been astral projection.
Well, I thought these were dreams for the longest time because it's weird dreams where it's like I dreamed that I was walking around outside my house before, and I never assumed that was astral projecting, but that's what it was. Yeah.
To me, that just sounds like you had a little dream.
No, that's what it was though. It was astral projecting.
Yeah, you can. Your body's there. But you can move your
and you can also see entities when you're astral projecting, which I've also seen that.
Yeah, me too.
Have you guys? All right. Do you believe in what is it when you see like? What is it when you see like shadow people?
That's the sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis. You ever seen a sleep paralysis demon?
I've had sleep paralysis. No demon.
But yeah, so that demon thing, from what my point of view is from experiences is, I saw entities before. I guess they call it guides. I think I assumed that was my guide, but the shadow people are like they're like an aggravation of your fear when you're in sleep. You don't know what the fuck is happening, so you just see things. But from what I experience, like entities, I'm assuming those things that feed off negative energy from you, like astral projection or dreaming or whatever.
There is a reoccurring. So when I found this out, it did scare the shit out of me. There are reoccurring ones where people do see multiple of these same things. Because I started looking this up. There is one guy in particular called the Hat Man that people see kind of a lot. And once I realized that I was actually projecting this one dream, because I remember this like it's just burned in my memory because it was so fucking scary. Is I was astro projecting one night when I was a kid, and I used to do this a lot, and that's also why that movie Insidious scares the shit out of me.
And that's that guy? What are you talking about? That hat demon thing?
The hat demon or the hat
It's
man.
A shadow person that wears a fedora.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen this guy before,
It is not. He's not in like a movie or anything. Okay. I don't think. But when I remember this dream, like it was burned into my memory because it was so scary. I was walking around in the middle of the night. The moon was really bright, and I was having a dream doing it. And I remember seeing this guy, and he was very far away, but I could see him really clearly. And it's only the outline. It's only you could see the hat and then his body. And
that's why it's called the
Hat Man.
That's why it's called the shadow person, because you can't see any details in his face. Right. It's just like a silhouette.
But I remember seeing he had some kind of box in his hand and he was turning it. I don't know what it was. And I don't know if it was like, I always think it was like a camera or it was like a Jack in the Box or it was like, who knows? I remember that was like this weird thing. And then I felt like when I saw this thing, I just knew it wasn't good. Like it was very ominous. Like it was down really far away from me, but I could see him down there and I could see his outline even though it was in the dark.
You know what this shit reminds me of? Have you guys ever seen the show Fringe?
No, I know what you're talking about.
That show is really good. It's like an X-Files type show, but the premise of, But the premise of the show was that like there are paranormal and supernatural things that happen in the world, but they turn out to be backed up by science, right? So like somebody would see the Hat Man, and then like at the end of the episode, they would conclude that it was like fifth dimensional being that was like doing something on the earth, whatever, like that kind of episode.
Okay.
That to me is like what a lot of these experiences are. Like maybe there's something.
No, that's how I view it. Yeah. That's how I view it.
Yeah, which is like to me makes a lot of sense because I just don't believe in supernatural and paranormal stuff like that. I think it's fascinating.
Well, that's given away. I mean, that is essentially if you want to break it down. I mean, if you want to get into it, I mean, that's what I would assume these things are things bleeding over from another dimension.
Potentially, yeah.
What is it?
Potentially.
What is it? The movie Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah, oh my god.
Where the guy's like, gods and demons and monsters are crossing over and shit. But you know, it's funny. Like, I'm agnostic.
Yeah.
Come from a Christian family. Never had a Christian experiences.
Yeah.
And
I'm atheist. I don't believe in any of this shit.
But what I experienced was like, I experienced that, and I noticed the fact that's not religious shit there. It just, I'm assuming I experienced from dimensional things. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean maybe that is the case. I think it's really fascinating.
Yeah.
If you want to bring it, if this want to like make full circle here, they believe that's what Bigfoot is. That's why you can't find Bigfoot because he's crossing over into like from dimension to dimension.
That's new to me.
You've never heard this? No. Yeah, that's what they say. That like
big monkey. What are they talking about?
How does he do that?
Well, they say it's like it's not.
What?
Well, also,
how does he do that?
We can't even find the goddamn thing, and you're asking how does he do it?
What's the logic behind that?
that he can cross over from like
what? What'd I say?
I get why he's laughing now. I know it because essentially you're confirming it, and then you're like, how does he do that? How does he walk between dimensions?
Now I'm like, question, how the fuck does he do that?
Here's why I think it's so fucking funny. Because like we can't even find the goddamn thing. And then
we don't know it's like real.
How does he travel among dimensions? Are you gonna fucking ask him?
I don't know. That's a lot of processing power to do that shit. Like, how the fuck is he doing
processing that? We don't know what it is.
So he just traveled to do
Well, like people say like I think where it comes from is people like have accounts where they run in, like they're chasing down, they find a Bigfoot or they find a like Yeti or whatever. They chase it down and then it runs like into just thin air. It just disappears.
It runs in air.
I guess so. Like it runs into a tree and then it like you disappears.
I'm gonna fucking vomit.
How the fuck does it?
That is my favorite question that anybody's ever asked about anything. How does Bigfoot travel among dimensions?
Yeah, I'm trying to like. We can't even do that.
I guess Bigfoot would be the world's like.
Probably
he's the most well-known cryptid.
Yeah.
The Yeti.
But you never see him in like, other countries. Just
No,
the abominable snowman is.
No, the Yeti. Version. The Yeti is
like
so Bigfoot or the Sasquatch is what in America. Yeti is in the Alps. The Alps. Yep. Yeah. The swamp ape is like Florida.
I never heard of swamp ape.
Yeah, that is also considered like
that
people
sounds like
think
a Ben 10 monster.
Yeah,
swamp
ape.
But yeah, like Bigfoot, like these like hairy ape-like creatures have been like spotted all over the world.
Well, judging from how they look, they're older than like modern day monkeys and apes.
Yeah. So
they're like somewhat like human genome or whatever.
This is one that I find really interesting. Like Bigfoot is always, because Bigfoot is the most plausible one, right?
No, it's not.
Well, not when he's traveling among fucking dimensions, but he's just like a big monkey, right?
No, he's not. He doesn't. His body and how he walks is not like a monkey. Like
it's a large and hairy human-like mythical creature, but he looks like a monkey.
Look at the motion he has in the picture.
I mean, he's walking with.
That's a man in a suit.
That is a man in a suit. The original Bigfoot has been faked the whole time. Like Bigfoot has always been faked.
I love those Bigfoot shows though.
Yeah, they're so fun.
Like,
Finding Sasquatch. We've been looking for 26 years.
Like the ghost shows.
I'd love to do that though. Like just be out in the woods, it's like with the shotgun in my hand. It's like
isn't like a Bigfoot horror story out there? Horror movie.
There's a couple of them.
Here, let me read Bigfoot's page real quick. Excuse me. Bigfoot, also commonly referred to as Sasquatch, is a large and hairy human-like mythical creature purported to inhabit forests in North America, particularly in the Pacific Northwest. He's from Seattle. Enthusiasts of the subject have offered various forms of dubious evidence to prove Bigfoot exists, including anecdotal claims of sightings, as well as alleged photographs, video, and audio, hair samples, and cast of large footprints. It's been identified as hoax. Most of this evidence has been identified as hoaxes or misidentification. There was no convincing evidence of Bigfoot. But it does say that tales of wild, hair-covered humanoids exist throughout the world, and such creatures appear in the folklore of North America, including the mythologies of indigenous people. And said it's an enduring element of popular culture and an icon within the pseudoscience and subculture of cryptozoology.
He's like the mascot of it.
Yeah.
So Bigfoot is kind of like the OG cryptid.
So that's probably the modern day cryptid, right?
I wouldn't say modern because it's
70s was like when it got notarized.
This is talking about like indigenous cultures.
Okay.
You know, like there's records of it in indigenous cultures, Native Americans.
Can we use AI to clean these pictures up?
No.
We can't.
Because AI is just pulling from somewhere else.
It's pulling from somewhere else, but any upscaling that'll happen is just recreating pixels that are in the shot. So like it's just
if it's not in the shot, it can't be. I mean, it can be altered, but it's not pulling any new information.
I forget AI brings shit from the internet.
Yeah. So no, we can't do that. But I find Bigfoot particularly interesting because apart from being the original cryptid, it just keeps evolving. Like right now, I guess it can travel through dimensions.
I didn't know that.
Well, that's how people say that. Like that's why we can't find it.
Yeah. I think
that like a
which let me ask you this: do you guys believe in different dimensions?
Yes,
I do.
Dimensions exist
because quantum mechanics and physics are like a whole element that we're still exploring, and like there are particles that like quantum mechanics and quantum physics are a thing that is real, and that is the basis of dimensionality. So if there's a third dimension, mathematically a fourth and a fifth. See,
that's what makes this scary.
Why?
Because that. When you involving other dimensions, there is another you.
Yeah.
There's
that's
different
universes.
There's different.
That's different.
Well, there's different planes, right?
No, well, dimensions are sort of.
I give it like this. So
the occupation of time and space. Go ahead, Tay.
So like, imagine a tree. That's the universe. The layers of the tree are dimensions. The branches are timelines. So you do a forest. That's the multiverse. That they have their own dimensions and own. Timelines.
Okay, do you believe in different multiverses?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, mathematically, probably.
Most likely. Yeah. Infinite amount of universes.
So he wouldn't travel to dimensions because when we think of dimensions, we think of different universes. There's completely different things. Dimensions exist in a current universe.
Okay, maybe not Bigfoot. Maybe through different multiverses.
Yeah, he can be a multiversal travel.
Yeah. Okay, but like Ghost though.
Ghost would be a dimension.
That would be a dimension because it's like it's a presence here but not here.
Yeah.
It's like its other form is on another plane.
Yeah.
See, that's what makes it. So this is where it's like Fringe, where it's like we're boiling it down. Fringe.
Oh, Fringe. Yeah.
Fringe.
I think it's interesting. I think the whole thing is fascinating. But at the end of the day,
what was that bit?
Because at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of people not understanding.
Come on, you're being cynical.
Fact, if he was from a different dimension,
this is the fun part.
Yeah, this is the fun part.
If he was from a different dimension, we wouldn't register how he look because we see in 3D space.
Unless he can literally become
us.
Unless he can literally inhabit a third dimension, like he can travel outside of the fourth and enter.
Now,
the third.
granted,
what would be considered the fourth dimension?
Time. That's time. So the reason why we probably see him for so fucking long, if you can be above the fourth dimension or coexist in the fourth dimension, you can travel to any point in time. So
it's like going a step down.
Yeah. So by logic, he can exist
everywhere.
Everywhere at time because he can travel through the time of his existence.
So think about it this way: if Bigfoot can travel through time, through the fourth dimension, no matter where we're at, conceivably. Bigfoot is there
always,
all the time.
Yeah, and then
because we can't see in the fourth dimension. So when he pops into the third, he becomes a representation of the third dimension. But then when he disappears into thin air and like travels to another point in the fourth dimension, we can no longer see him.
Kind of like a projection. Like you're seeing an image of it that's not actually.
Well, yeah, it's like when you look at a drawing that's in 2 dimensions. You know, like if you have a drawing of somebody and that's in the second dimension, it doesn't have
like
any
a side
depth
profile.
to it.
Like it's a flat image.
They can't see this way. They see.
Yeah, they see X and Y. They don't see the Z axis. So in time, there's an X, a Y axis, a Z axis, and like a delta axis. And we can't see the delta axis, right? Mm-hmm. But if Bigfoot can travel through dimensions, then he can just be anywhere that he wants because he exists
in that time. It's like you walking down the street, walking that way. He can do that in the fourth dimension.
Right. See, we're kind of proving the point here now.
No, so like if you want to put logic into that, that the dimension thing now makes more sense when they actually put that much effort into it.
Now, hilarious fucking thing about that is that if there's a big time traveling funky monkey running about, I want to.
Well, we don't know what the fuck. We don't know what it is, and we don't like. That's the thing is like it's like the reason we can't find certain things is because they are just on.
So they all time.
They're just not time per se, but like maybe just a projection that you're seeing an image, you're physically seeing it, but it's not actually physically in our dimension. So
also, sorry, go ahead. Sorry,
that's the end of it. Like it's just like you can see it, but it's not actually there.
I want to clarify, I'm not a crazy man, by the way. I'm using stuff I learned over the years. Like
we really should have did this at 3 a.m. I'm not kidding. Like this is what you talk about at 3 a.m.
So you can look at what I say, and that's the actual thing. I just want to think I'm a fucking lunatic.
The really fascinating thing about all of this, especially when you start adding some sort of like reasonable scientific explanation to things, it becomes really interesting. To me, it becomes fascinating because suddenly X-Files makes a little bit more sense. Like shows like Fringe make a little bit more sense, and you start going like, all right, well, I see the Hat Man being like a weird fucking thing, and he's like a surveyor for like a group.
The Hat Man is super scary because like, why is it that this entity is that's what scared the fuck out of me the most is because I thought this was uniquely to me. So I had never known someone else could see this thing, and I remember this thing. So they had two entities I've ever run across, and I guess it's from astral projecting.
So you answered my question then about to say, do you know what this was before that experience?
Yes, that's what scared. So when I was like, I got curious one day, probably a couple of years ago, and I was like, man, I remember that thing was. Well, I have a fear. Because I have a fear that if you write down something from a nightmare, it comes alive when you put it into like an actual space. Because I always thought about like, has someone ever made a movie about a nightmare that they've had or something like that? Yeah. Or they've wrote a book about a nightmare and they physiologically create something and give it life.
Yeah, it was Edgar Allan Poe, the crow, a bird was speaking or whatever.
That was Edgar Allan Poe. No, that was about the bird. Being a manifestation of his guilt.
Yeah, but wasn't like...
I don't think it was a nightmare. I think he just wrote it.
But wasn't it a crow or whatever mimicking him?
No. What are you talking about?
I remember it's like that story has like how we doing right now, like a science explanation behind it.
It was a crow saying nevermore.
But that's crows can speak if they hear something. If they hear something, they can mimic that voice.
They can't.
They're mimics.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
I think crows can.
They can mimic sounds, but they can't mimic human
That's what I'm
speech.
saying. Sounds. Yeah, it's mimicking sound. That's what I'm saying.
But not. They can't form words. They can't mimic words. Their physiology doesn't allow it. I promise
Jordan,
you, this is true.
I want to say. I know crows are really smart.
They're very mimics. Yeah, they can mimic sound.
Wait, wasn't a raven?
Raven. That's what
they can talk just as. Never mind. I was wrong. They can talk just as well as parrots.
Crows can or ravens?
Both. I guess I just go fuck myself.
Yeah, it was a raven, right? It was crow.
It was a raven. It was because the story's called what?
But I know they were raven.
Yeah.
Crows are really smart too. Mm-hmm. Apparently,
they're not talking; they mimic the sound.
Maybe they're from another dimension.
They're fart smellers, actually.
What?
They're smart fellas.
Fart smellers. I was like, what?
Anyway, to get back on my point about like the Hat Man is like I got scared because I was thinking about like I was trying to come up with a story to write for just shits and giggles, and I was thinking about like what I write about that fucking Hat Man thing because there's been two entities I've seen, the Hat Man and then the woman in the veil. There's like this woman, this old timey like she has an old dress on, and it looks like almost like a bride's outfit, but it's completely black.
Yeah,
and I think she might be old, and she has this dark veil over her, so you can't really make out her face.
Daniel Radcliffe movie?
Well, the woman in black scares the shit out of me too because of that. Because I have already a fear of that. Or Insidious, where that woman shows up. But those are the two entities I've ever seen.
So you have like paranormal experiences throughout your life, then?
I don't know.
Someone must have caught me off at the cosmic fucking thread because I've never
or just ignore
seen anything. Maybe maybe it's all just so. Maybe the TISM just overrules all of it.
Well, lucid dreaming is forming that cosmic thing. You can control. the dreams are, if you believe in the multiverse theory, they're a different world.
Yeah, that's why people have deja vu. Why people can see into the future, see fragments of the future line. Like time itself is not linear. Yeah. It's like a fucking wave. So you can sometimes see over a wave into another time period. Yeah. That's i.e. dreams. Well, you've never had deja vu? You've never seen something like 6 years into the future?
We know what causes deja vu.
What causes deja vu?
Deja vu is a lapse in the short-term memory getting mixed up in your brain and storing it into the long-term memory instead.
No, you've never had a dream where you're like, what was that?
I had dreams about open refrigerator, the exact same lighting and everything. And then one day I did it. 2 years later, I had a dream one time I was in, before I knew what it was a physics class in AI. I was like, holy shit, I remember this. And go on with your day. I had a dream like that probably like a year or two in advance.
Your brain was supposed to put that memory that you just had.
But I never had a classroom like that before. I have a good memory.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Your brain,
I get where you're coming from, but
deja vus are not a thing. Deja vus are not a mystical thing. They're a completely biological phenomena.
I don't know.
Your brain, you experience something.
This man hasn't experienced anything, have you?
Your brain experiences a thing, and instead of putting it in short-term memory,
cornflakes for brain.
I don't know.
Instead of putting it in the short-term memory, it puts it in the long-term memory.
No, this is good.
So
we
feel like you remember it.
I don't tell people.
We can't have all three of us agree on this. So this is good. We need one guy sitting out.
It's just like I believe.
You've never had anything weird happen to you.
There is some weird shit. I've had some weird shit happen to me.
What is your weird shit to you?
Tell us a story. Yeah.
One time I was in my house in Puerto Rico and I saw a lady in like a white wedding dress walk through my room and drop an algebra book.
So what was the context of that?
That was it. I was just playing Halo and then this fucking
Oh, you
lady
told us about
room.
this before.
Yeah. Walked through my room and then fucked off. Just went off.
What was before and after that event? Like, did you doze off on the couch or?
No, I was awake. I was doing math homework.
I'm sure you've seen a fucking UFO in Puerto Rico.
I never seen a UFO.
That has like a ton of UFO encounters.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, we had the big telescope thing.
Yeah. Well, ever since you guys put that in, like
that's where the rumors came from.
Yeah, that's what. I've never I've had weird experiences, but I've always found like a weird explanation for them. I've never found anything that I just like.
So the white lady thing could be like some crazy lady walking in your house.
Not some crazy lady that walked in my house. By your logic, that's what you're implying. Well, but it's the thing where like you have an experience, and the brain is such a volatile thing. Like the brain plays tricks on you all the time. And like I had watched like a couple of horror movies like the day prior to that, or like 2 days prior to that, because I watch horror movies all the time. And then suddenly in a moment when I'm bored, my brain just hallucinates a fucking lady walking about that looks like the walking cliche of a horror movie.
You just don't hallucinate though like that.
Yeah, you do.
Why?
I don't know. Your brain just fills in the gaps if it's bored enough.
I don't know. I mean, do you believe in like chakras and stuff like that? Like the body has energies and gates.
Like we were talking about earlier. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
Oh, what was it? All right, go ahead. Explain what we're talking about before we turn.
Like how you're in a flow state where you're in the moment.
Runner's high.
Nothing matters anymore.
But that's all endorphins and like chemicals.
Yeah, but it's like it's a state of mind your conscious can go to. Everyone can do it. Some people don't realize
you're tapping into another part of your body
that you don't know you have.
You're just releasing endorphins.
Well, we also don't have fully control of our brains either.
We only say the 10% shit. I swear to God.
Is that Lucy?
I'm leaving.
That movie fucking ruined that conversation.
Lucy, or what was it? Limitless.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. No, Limitless is where they take a pill and he like access the rest of his brain. Yeah.
Did you know humans use 10% of their power?
We don't.
But I do believe there's a higher level of consciousness stuff, and that's one of the things.
Or like the sixth sense. It's like where you have a sixth sense, where you can physically feel something.
I have that. I can do that all the time.
Well, yeah, and it's like a common thing, but it's not a proven thing yet.
Where it's not a proven thing, but
where it's like you feel like someone's watching you because you can tell sometimes.
Not that way, but more so like this ain't right, and you're right.
Yeah,
and I'm
or someone's standing behind you, and then they are standing behind you.
I can say for a fact I'm part of like 85% right with that stuff.
Yeah. Hey, babes. That's called evolutionary biology.
Yeah, intuition. That's what it is.
Yeah, you're supposed to feel that.
But I'm saying, what if like if we unlock the rest, like what if we had 20% of our brain? Could we start seeing
no 20%.
Something?
There's no percent.
There's like people say
we used the whole thing.
There's like
the whole time. We used the whole thing. Sorry, what did you say?
Not necessarily.
We used the whole thing.
Because it's like, when people say like you have dreams, who's that fake person there you never met? That's someone you saw when you're like 2 years old or 3 years old. 4 years old, something you don't remember, but they're there.
Yeah, that's in there, and your neurons.
Yeah, so when you're conscious, like right now, you are using your brain, but you're not using it to its fullest potential. If you could think about something when you're born. Like
no, because those neurons don't. That neural pathway doesn't exist. That neural pathway was developing. There's a reason why.
There's a thing there.
You don't remember it.
It's like taking a photo. That photo exists.
Yeah.
But right now, like currently, like say 3 years old.
Yeah.
People, I can remember things from 3 years old.
Yeah,
that's a fact. I can do that.
Yeah.
But like some people can't, and that stuff, that information is there.
Yeah.
But if you, like I say, that 3-year-old is now a 30-year-old, he can't access that right now.
You can access it
if
willingly.
He was asleep, he could probably access it because he's not realizing he's using fucking everything in his head right now. Or he's relaxed or whatever. So his brain's processing so much information, like some dreams. Or he.
Do you know what about hypnotherapy? Where people get put under and then unlock stuff.
Now
it's completely pseudoscience.
Like I don't believe in like phone psychics either. I don't do that.
Maybe not phone science or phone psychics, but like hypnotherapists could be a real thing because people do block out memories.
Hypnotherapies are used in some contexts for trauma counseling because it allows people to enter a relaxed state where they can talk about the trauma without experiencing the vagus nerve response of trauma. And in that context, it can be helpful, but it doesn't repress memories.
Well, people black out their memories.
They repress them.
They black them out and they can't remember.
There's some cases where people do just forget.
That's trauma, and that's not people. That's just a trauma response.
But the information is still there.
No,
you just don't. Again,
you can't recall it either.
Access it.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that we're not using that part of our brain. That part of
I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that it's not part of a brain you're not using. But you can.
What are we saying? What are we saying?
We having a 3 a.m. conversation.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that like I don't know what I'm saying.
What are you saying? But what is the? Why are you saying that people repress their memories? Like, what are you trying to
I'm saying that like there's
He's
like
answering your question about how we don't use our brain power.
Yeah.
Processing power.
We don't use we use all of it.
But I was making the point about the hypnotherapist, like about like they can tap into something you repress. Like there's certain parts of your brain that you can access going through techniques and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I don't know, like maybe you saw something and then like you repress it and then.
No, I mean I get it. I've had weird experiences. I've heard weird noises along them. I used to live right next to a cemetery.
It's funny. What?
You know, a cemetery, whatever. Yeah. I used to live right behind a cemetery, and it was fine. I never had a little ghosty apparition pop up. That didn't make sense.
I don't know. Maybe some people are just more spatially aware than others, or
that must be cut off at the source from whatever the fuck happened.
So.
What are you looking at?
By the way, this episode is now no longer just cryptids. Now
it's cryptid ghosts, paranormal, quoted from 3 a.m. conversation, really.
Quoted from this, or I knew it was going to turn to this. That's how I want to do it. Quoted from 2008 article from Scientific American. It says, ultimately, it's not that we use 10% of our brains. Merely, we only understand about 10% of how it functions.
So we don't know how our brains actually...
Who said that?
What's this article?
That would make more sense.
It was written by Robin Boyd of February 7, 2000.
Listen, neuroscience is really interesting, and we're still mapping out how the brain works.
That's what I was about to say. Is like we don't even.
We don't know why we sleep.
We do know why we sleep. We just don't know how sleep works.
They're like, why do we sleep?
Because it refreshes the brain. Essentially, it's a flush cycle for the brain.
It's an evolutional thing.
Yeah. It's a flush cycle for the brain, so that you can regain back the energy that you've lost. Your brain and body go through a repair cycle. And that's why we dream, because when we dream, your brain is processing information that it witnessed throughout the day.
What'd I do?
What happened? Did you lock it?
No, he exited out my pump. Because
I used that thing for... It's right here. I see it.
That's funny.
The fuck are you?
No, there was another tab that you would... Did you open up another tab? Or did you use a tab to like Google something?
I can't remember.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
Damn it.
You'll find it.
I don't know where I was at in that manga.
It's in your history. But yeah, I think that the brain is fascinating. We use 100% of our brain all the time.
What I'm saying is like maybe we can see fourth dimensions.
No, we can't. That's.
I'm saying that like, we just don't know how to do it yet.
We've been alive as a species for a long time.
But like lucid dream. But like this is what I mean. Like when you go to lucid dreaming, all you're doing is sleeping.
You're sleeping.
And then you're allowed access into another dimension.
No, not to mention dreams.
Or dreams. Yes. Well, what are dreams?
Dreams.
Dreams are your brain's recycling plant.
Yeah, but
it's a REM cycle that they don't exist.
So why can you when you're, well, you haven't lucid dream.
I've had control.
So you
of my
floated out of your
consciousness.
body, turned around and looked down at you. Sleep.
That's
Or
astral
astral
project.
project. I mean, have you ever astral projected?
No.
This is what I mean when you astral project, you're gaining access to almost like a ghost form.
I know exactly what astral projection is because I lived with a man who believes in this for the last 25 years.
I would
Get
say,
your dad on the podcast.
Yeah, that was hilarious. But back in September, I told you guys this before. Not you, but one time I had a dream.
MLK had a dream too.
Yeah.
Oh, you really have to go.
evil MLK would be like, I had a nightmare.
You seen the episode of Boondocks where his son was so disappointed? Well, he was disappointed with the Americans.
Wasn't that like season 3 or something like that?
Yeah, like gray hair and shit. But no, I had a dream where I was laying the exact same way. I remember how it looked. It was raining that night, and there was like an orange lamp outside that's coming my window.
Yeah.
And I remember where my phone was and the position I was in the bed. I saw myself.
Yeah.
And I remember like, Tay, wake up, which I woke up. But I remember in my dream, that reality shifted to like a warp effect.
Yeah.
And I woke up in the exact same position, exact same lighting, and all of that.
Yeah,
I woke up, I had a huge ass migraine after that.
Yeah. I've had situations where like I have woken up in a dream and then like I've gone through the dream as if I'm watching it in the third person. Like I'm watching myself in the third person through the dream. And then the dream has just been a time loop of like a specific moment. And like I go through the dream and like something usually traumatic happens. Like one of the big dreams that I had is I was at a sleepover and I woke up next to my friend Louise. And
I don't have nightmares, by the way.
I have a horrible case of I have nightmares all of the time.
Really?
It's fucking awful.
I don't have nightmares.
I used to get chronic migraines and nightmares when I was in high school. I would have a nightmare and wake up with a migraine. So I would I woke up in the dream and I was watching myself in the third person and I was like going through the actions in the dream, kind of controlling myself. It looked like I was playing God of War 2018.
Wait, I remember you talking about it because you always use this analogy.
And it's like that whole project. And I woke up in that dream and then like my friend Louise is bleeding from like her stomach. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? And I like try to wake her up and she's fucking dead. And then I wake up again. And
1954.
But I wake up again. It's a Godzilla reference. Yeah. And I wake up again and the same thing happens, but there's like a different version of that same event going on. So like I woke up like 17 times and she died a different way every one of those 17 times until I woke up for real. And to this day, I'm not convinced I'm still awake.
God.
You know, like I've had like 3 of those dreams where I've gone through a time loop and I like lose.
They're not
reality.
time loops, they're different dimensions.
Whatever the fuck they are.
No,
they scare the shit out of me.
Well, people believe also that like you can have a dream where someone else died in another dimension, like and that's how you died. You see it through their eyes or something like that.
Yeah, they could be lit like again multiverse theory by that logic. There's someone who having a dream of this event.
Yeah.
Right now.
How you doing?
Yeah, hello. You're probably freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
And it could be one of us having that dream.
Yeah.
By that logic.
Yeah.
But but these like mythical creatures
That's
and everything.
scary to think of. We just said hi.
It's like the interstellar moment that he was having.
Could you imagine like walking into like a kitchen, people are eating dinner, and then you don't know who they are, and you don't know how you got there or anything, and then they're just like eating, talking, and then they all stop and just like look over at you or something like that.
Yeah,
I had dreams where
dude, that would be a great horror movie. A horror movie from the perspective of the ghost. That's just like walking in.
I can already see the indie film getting made out of this, where it's like it's a comic, it's a dark comedy. It's a little dark comedy.
No, I have dreams. I call them universes, but where I went to that universe again, and I remember like, oh, that's that shit over there.
Yeah,
I had that a few months ago. Like,
I have a recurring
remember
dream.
Experienced this world before.
Yeah, I have a recurring dream of a neon covered like mall that is always it's a shopping center. That's always the same.
Have you gone in there?
The same. I've been in there like 5 times in my life.
What's in there?
Just a whole bunch. There's a couple of shoe stores. There is a very specific GameStop that is like a triangle.
But this mall doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. No idea where it is. No idea what it is. No idea why I dreamt it. I've went into like the big department store in that shopping center, and it's like a Sam's Club but for technology. So it's like a bunch of TVs and racks and like game consoles and shit like that. And I've been there like 10 times. No idea why. Nothing ever happens. I just go there and
It's a
walk
world
about.
you can access.
Yeah,
You
just
guys ever
walk about.
had same dream as someone else?
My aunt did apparently for my dad's.
Like they
They
were
saw
in
the
there.
same being before. Swear to God, I forgot about you. You made me remember that. Yeah, my dad drew that creature. Pit on my fucking wall one time. Scared the shit out of me. I was like, I'll never forget it. It's like I was like 7 years old.
Yeah.
This man with a hood on and chains and shit. And my dad drew that character. Or whatever.
See, that's why I'm scared
they
of
always
doing.
scary?
That's
Why are
how I
they-
found the fucking Hat Man.
Why are they always scary?
That's not scary to me. Well, now it's not scary. I
No,
think
no,
that's fucking
Why,
cool.
why is all this shit that we see always scary?
Mine's not scary.
Well, because we don't know it's the unknown,
That's
and we don't know what they want.
Yeah.
But what I can tell you when I saw the Hat Man,
But they're ops.
when I saw the Hat Man, it felt like he was doing something insidious. Like I could sense that like it was like his presence was like unwelcome there.
I never had any bad experiences with those type of things though. I just to me, it's more like it just happens.
Look, it's giving me goosebumps right now thinking about it because
The
I
spider sense.
can still feel. I mean, I can still feel the
Neat
presence.
trick of
Like
Elvis.
I was standing up at a hill up here and looking down at him.
You have a dream about it,
And he was standing there, and it was almost like I want to say that I remember him smiling at
Jordan, wake up.
It's like a
me.
Doctor
Could you
Strange
fucking imagine
sequence.
you be walking down the street and someone just like turns at you and they go, "Wake up"?
Dude.
That's a TikTok prank. That's
I
hilarious.
think I remember
They're like
that.
twins. He gets walking by, like
wake
he's
up.
like, what the fuck?
Wake up.
Dude, could you imagine if you're schizophrenic and like that triggers an episode? Holy shit. It's awful.
This I won't say it's probably racist as fuck. Never mind.
Yeah, I've experienced like weird shit, but to me it all just kind of makes sense. It falls under an umbrella of like shit that happens in my brain that I just don't know. And it's never bothered me. Like I've never felt scared by it or
You know
felt
what
like
keeps you up at night?
What?
That blew my fucking mind, and we can't fucking comprehend it, no matter how smart you are. Before the Big Bang,
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
the-
time and
nothing.
space didn't exist.
Dude, I used to be
But-
filled with chronic anxiety when I first found out about space.
Yeah. No, I love it, but time and space didn't exist before the Big Bang.
Yeah.
Nothing exists. So nothing is something. So you can't
Well, we
envision
don't.
it.
The worst thing is that we don't know. We have no idea.
We just found out the age is double too, by the way. It's actually 26.9 years
Oh,
old.
You know
yeah,
what
that's
scares me is like,
Not
could you
13.
imagine like, what scares me really is when you look up old history books and you go to like the 1800s or something like that, and then there's like, it's been like 200 years, 300 years, and like the government was doing something
Why are
weird.
you whispering?
Am I whispering?
Fucking lasers.
Well, we're getting like we're getting in the 3 a.m. conversation now. It's like
what are you going at? I'm sorry to cut you off.
it's like because it always comes out like or like in the 1920s or something. There was a company poisoning the water, and all these people are getting infected by this thing for like
Yeah.
years and years and years. Well, you skip 70 years, 80 years. It's all past, and it only came out because it's so much time has passed now.
Mhm.
And I always think about what the fuck is going on right now. That in like 100 years, some kid's gonna be reading a textbook and they're like, "Whoa, I can't believe they were
It's
doing
gonna
that."
be the aspartame.
Or they're getting away with this.
See, that's what I get at. Because like the shit I was talking about previously,
yeah,
I had those experiences.
right. Push
That
your
to
microphone
me,
up a little bit.
it's like fucking people just fucking.
Going a little bonkers.
Like I had a friend like that, and I had coworkers like that. That's,
Well, but
that
that's-
is very aggravating.
But it's real.
There are evil people out there.
Yes.
That's fact. They do evil shit, but I don't think every fucking thing out there is like that.
No.
Like,
But I'm saying like someone has been like
There's a,
let's
like
say
a done,
okay, let's say like the Epstein Island thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
There was that was a conspiracy for fucking years that there was a pedophile ring going around with the most powerful people in the world fucking children on this island.
Mm-hmm.
And they were using it as like an ops to get dirt on them to control it.
Yeah.
But
People
it's-
would have said you're crazy back then. But this was like happening in the 90s, in the 80s and shit. But back then people was not aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you just go through, you're just going through daily life and you're like, oh, that's not real.
That's how I vaguely.
But then you skip in the forward like 50 years in the future, and then it's like, no, that was going on, and that was real.
You know why that doesn't scare me? And this might sound, I'm not trying to be funny, but the reason it doesn't scare me is because by the time that we find out
we're dead.
that it should scare me, I'm not here, man.
Yeah, that doesn't scare me.
Doesn't scare. I understand where you're coming from. Conceptually, that's really scary. I think the thing that is really conceptually, it's just like, what am I doing? What am I unwillingly being a part of?
I think
it's like a form of like lack of consent.
That's
like
not
really
me.
scary.
More like, why you hide it? Like, it goes to the later alien conversation, like how you felt like back then, people probably did see the things we see now, the UFOs things, and back then we say like, oh, that's bullshit, whatever. But again, we talked multiple times that they slowly, and they even did one of the biggest thing in UFO like conversations. Like they went to the fucking the thing, and they had a full-fledged conversation, a serious conversation, not like this is bullshit. Like,
well, you know what's funny about those conversations that happened with the alien thing is that guy went to the government and said, "Hey, I'm going to talk about aliens," and the government said, "Okay, well, you can't say anything that's top secret or classified."
Yeah.
No, he has to get permission so he doesn't go to jail.
He had to say what he says too.
They have to put it in what is called a skiff, where it's a closed room where he was able to let a little bit more information out. But after they do a skiff, they confirm it, and then they're like, okay, now you can actually say these things out in public without being reprimanded and going to jail for it.
Right, but
you have to. The way he's doing it is by the book, and the way you can only be
he can legally do what he's doing right now.
Yes,
but there are limits. The government is imparting limitations. Like you can't say anything that is classified or top secret.
Yeah,
which means that what he told us isn't classified or top secret.
Well, he's beating around the bush. He can't give names and stuff around.
He was very. He told AOC some shit after the thing. I know for a fact. He specifically told her, "I can't say what I want to say, but I'll tell you after this meeting or whatever."
Or he said, in a skiff.
Yeah.
Or and he was like, "I can give you names privately." But you can't say it out in public.
This that conversation is interesting and it's fine that it happened, but we're not getting anything useful out of that conversation.
No.
We're not getting anything because he's saying what the government is letting him say.
No, I don't believe that. He's saying what he can do enough with.
Yeah,
what he's doing is more than what we did in how many years now? Yeah, that's a great start.
It's a great start. It is a great start.
Yeah, it was great, but it's I don't think just him agreeing with the government says. He's working because he's a human being like us. He has a life too.
No.
He doesn't want to fucking die for telling the truth.
Totally get that.
Yeah,
totally get that. But what he is saying is what the government is allowing us to hear him say.
No, I think he's more control of that.
Because if he wasn't,
he's being reprimanded by upper command. Yeah. I mean, there's upper command trying to stop him.
I'm just saying.
Yes, he kind of questioned his livelihood too. He knows people. He didn't say specifically, but he was like,
he said, "You got a good video on your YouTube." It said, "Great video, calling it like it is, modern gaming."
I don't know what it is.
Tay posted a video about PlayStation. It's pretty nice. Anyway,
just to give a little context, though, he actually hasn't seen anything. He was conducting interviews with other people. That said that they saw these things.
Correct. All I am saying is that while that is an interesting conversation,
the worst part about it, ain't it?
Yeah. While it is a good conversation to have, at the end of the day,
don't say it.
We're just hearing what the government wants us to hear.
I don't think I get you coming from, but I don't think that's the government interfering. They're only interfering. He only doing that because he don't want to hypothetically die.
No. I get it. I get it.
He's saying that he's
working around the system.
I get what Bryan's saying. He is saying that this guy, the government, if they truly was holding something secretive, they wouldn't let him speak at all or something.
Yeah. He would die in a car crash before anybody knew about it.
But
I've also had a theory.
Well, now they can because now there's press involved in the whole situation.
But
I mean, they killed Epstein.
Legit footage of these fucking things. Yeah. So you can do so much.
I'm not saying I don't believe in this guy. I believe in I believe in all this weird sort of extra curricular science thing that is happening.
Let me give you some, but wait, let's think about it. Let's think about the past. What happened to fucking Epstein? Epstein was literally running a pedophile ring with the most powerful people in the world on this island, right? They murdered his ass in front of the whole goddamn world.
Yeah, we know that was.
And no one cares now.
You know why nobody cares?
Because they fucking silence media. They didn't.
We're all tired. We're all tired.
No,
we should be 100% on that fucking ass. And then also everything in that case got sealed up.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I'm not saying
give us the fucking names.
No, it's more why.
Because we need to know who's fucking running the world as a pedophile.
You already know they corrupt. So
yeah, but we need names.
I agree with you. They should all be sent to jail. Like I want to hear all that shit, and they showed it up. We should care.
Why I never bothered with that fucking story? Because it's like they obviously did it. What's the
but
conspiracy?
but the thing is, who did it?
Whoever is in the head.
Who?
People who would have power did it.
Who particularly?
I don't know, but we know there's someone with power.
If you take like 90% of Hollywood and then 90% of the government, they were in that island.
That's what I said. Tom Hanks.
But here's the thing: like you don't know. You have no idea who was in there.
But that don't fucking. That doesn't benefit me in going through my life.
It does when you think you're like, Mothman could be real, and who's covering that shit up?
No. Because it's more like
not on the same plane of existence at all.
Like for me, go back to UFOs invasion. It know the fact out of me that people like I still gotta go to work the next day. Well, yeah, but if we understand what aliens came here, that's like one of the biggest things in human history. That changes our history going forward and the past. Yeah. That makes we can get into technology, new medicines, literally anything. That's beneficial. Not just for you,
it's warping people's beliefs.
Yes,
I mean, if aliens exist, then religion immediately goes out the window.
Now, that's what I'm the most excited about.
Then the Espionage shit,
the religion is created from it, like these like beings.
Yeah, that's plausible. But for me, that don't. But I'm glad that shit happened. We get new things going forward.
Yeah.
It opens up shit thing that I like. Who this corrupt politician is a bad person? What the fuck does that do with me? I'm still going to work. Still got to do what I need to do. Still doing podcasting. Just because you found out he's bad, why does that benefit me?
All of those people should be punished severely.
I agree.
Okay, so if your politician is taking a backdoor deal where they are knowingly letting people pollute your water supply and
ruin
poison
my crops
and ruin your crops, poison you, make you develop cancer at 45 years old, that is a fucking problem.
I mean, like
that's the thing but that is like the truth. If you want to get down in the fucking gritty about why you should care, it's because they take backdoor deals, letting these corporations dump chemicals and all this shit into
I'm just some guy.
They're turning the frogs gay.
He has proven
they did turn the frogs gay, though. That was real.
There's no... What are you talking about?
That's questionable. I know you're talking about, too.
What the fuck are you talking about?
There was a chemical that was changing... was it female frogs into male frogs?
Alex Jones has a little bit credibility with his things sometimes.
Alex Jones is like more like a shotgun.
Everybody shut the fuck up for a second. Everybody shut the fuck up for a hot second. This is exactly why this fucking paranormal shit always finds a way to piss me off. Because everyone is just like, oh, there's a little bit of grain of truth and all of it. It's just like, yeah, there is a little grain of truth in all of it.
Not sometimes.
No, most of the time.
No.
Most of the time.
The pedophile, Bryan, the pedophile island.
I know that. Shut the fuck up about the pedophile.
I'm so sick of the island bullshit, though.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it is. And what did you do the next day?
But this is
and they killed his ass.
What'd you do the next day? Why do you care?
I'm talking
because
about...
we don't know.
I don't know. I don't give a shit.
All right.
I'm cutting all of your business out. Listen to me. We're talking about cryptids and aliens and all of this shit again, and frogs getting turned gay, and goddamn Bigfoot, and all of these people. There is always, and like about using 10% of your brain, there is always some crazy fucking headline that some scientists published 10 years ago that some dude with a Facebook account misread, and they said, oh, there's some fluoride in the water that is potentially affecting frogs' hormones. And some fucking guy on Facebook read that. And the guy on Facebook was like, oh my God, the male frogs are turning into female frogs. And then some other fucking guy saw that tweet and it was just like, oh my God, they're turning the frogs gay. And then it went into Alex Jones' stupid fucking eyes. And then he said, fluoride is turning the frogs gay. And now we have to deal with 700 deadlines a year about gay frogs.
No, why though? He has one, the
Bohemian Girl. I was just about. That's funny. I was just about to bring that.
That's just legit only credible. So him be like, oh shit, he's right.
What is this?
Bohemian Grove.
A lot of powerful rich people go back in what was it? San Francisco.
I read about this. I believe that. I believe it.
No, not believe it. It's real.
Happened. Yeah, it happened. Yeah. They had video.
I didn't know that.
Malik, the owl god, they were worshiping it.
What's owl? It's owl god or some shit.
It's called the name of it's a demon. And I was actually it's funny. I was looking this up the other day. It is not an owl god. It is the name of a demon in hell.
Well,
called Malik.
Whatever that thing is, that event happened, and Alex Jones was right during the event. So since then, whatever Alex Jones says, people are like, he could be right. Like I listened to Joe Rogan.
That's the
podcast.
thing that annoys me the fucking most.
Since that moment.
Fucking
he had one good moment.
People. You say one thing that is like kind of on the right train of thought, and then suddenly every dumbass thing you say has some fucking validity.
What about like Spotlight? That movie Spotlight.
What's that?
Where they fucking expose the Catholic Church raping children.
That's people.
That's real.
Those
thing.
I'm talking about.
But that was a conspiracy. People.
That's a conspiracy though. That's
that
was
a conspiracy
happening.
before
really?
that. Before that, they published that newspaper article.
That's throughout history.
They've been hiding. Well, it was not known until people. It wasn't widely known until they published that shit out, and then people were like, oh, they are pedophiles.
The definition of conspiracy is a secret plan by a group to do something harmful or unlawful.
Say it again.
The definition of conspiracy is a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful.
That's conspiracy. No, what is conspiracy theory?
Conspiracy theory is the theory that you have when you think that people are doing something that is meant to be harmful or unlawful. So, like, it's conspiracy doesn't mean that it's not true. Conspiracy, like JFK assassination, is legally classified as a conspiracy.
I don't understand how.
Because they couldn't solve it. So it's a conspiracy because somebody did something to hurt the president, but we couldn't solve it. So I believe this is conspiracy theory. I believe that some secret but influential organization is responsible for an event or phenomena. Right? That's a conspiracy theory. What you're talking about, the Catholic Church and the apes, like Epstein Island. What you're talking about, that is conspiracy theory with real people and like real events that have happened through history. Those are on a completely different league than turning the fucking frogs gay. You understand what I'm saying?
I swear, Brian, I think that actually got proven.
I remember say the frogs are gay. What does that mean?
That's because like Alex Jones was going on a rant. He's like the frogs are gay, but like it was like it was the changing sex. Frogs. Are we really gonna look this up? Frogs?
Yes, I trying to find. Theorizing the gay frog, environmental humanities.
No, I know the quote, but I hate when people say the gay.
It was like some kind of chemical. There was a company dropping a chemical or something in the water, and it was changing the gender of the frog.
You guys know what CERN is?
You are missing the point of what I am saying.
You know what CERN is?
Yeah, Howard Stern.
No, CERN.
Oh yeah, the particle.
This is the centerpiece of all of these.
Yeah, it's the one.
That's the dimension of preacher theory.
Explain it to me.
That's what the ferret that walked into the particle. There was a ferret that walked into the particle collider.
The God particle. The God
particle collider, and the ferret got hit by the God particle, and that was in 2016. Yeah. And like the people started making the joke that that's when the timelines diverged.
They said this device, this machine.
Oh, there was. I remember when they turned that thing on, they thought it was gonna rip a hole in the world.
No, you're right. I'm not.
Well, it's the same thing with Oppenheimer. When they dropped the bomb, they're like, "This could."
See, that has more logic behind that than the fucking the fucking thing.
Why?
It's like you use oxidizer to blow it in the fucking world. There's a lot of oxygen everywhere.
Well, they were just
that's more credible than the fucking dimensional breacher device we have.
Why? You ever seen the movie The Mist?
Yes, I hated that. What was it? Why did they get here?
They were doing experiments, and then they ripped a hole, and then a bunch of stuff started pouring out of it. This mist stuff.
I didn't like that twist of that.
The end.
No, how it happened.
Yeah, he like killed
Brian,
his
you want to talk about the chupacabra?
It sucks blood out of goats, man.
Boring.
You said you had it happen in your town.
No, you misquoted me there. I was saying what the chupacabra was, but apparently there was a chupacabra sighting in 2009.
Yeah, so in Puerto Rico, the chupacabra has been a huge thing in the farms.
Let me pause his face. Yeah. It's fucking Edenton, North Carolina. Nothing's happening over there. Why would this Hispanic creature, what the hell it is, be in North Carolina? I mean,
what would it make it in North Carolina?
Come on. I know you guys are bored. It's a small town.
If it's traveling through dimensions, who knows?
This thing traveled dimensions.
If it's going from the fourth dimension to
here it is. Here it is. I fucking found it. While Jones's account of chemicals turning humans into frogs gay, yes, lacks any evidence. Because this is what always happens. Like somebody reads something from 10 years ago in a scientific journal, and it goes through this fucked up game of telephone.
Brian, you predict the metaverse too.
Yeah, it's what you say.
So that podcast he was on, that famous one, he predicted the metaverse.
Which one? The Joe Rogan one?
Yeah, Eddie Bravo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian, please watch that podcast. It's 4 hours long. Probably the greatest podcast episode of all time.
Entertaining.
It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
We predict the metaverse.
How do you predict the I'm pretty sure that was like. I don't think he predicted it. I think that was pretty much a theory.
No, it's way before it had the metaverse became like a mainstream thing. He was like they making the metaverse thing. Well, he didn't say metaverse, but they're making this space where our consciousness can go into this internet shit and.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Sorry.
Where do you get this information from?
Fucking sites.smith.edu. It's a college.
No, I'm talking about Alex Jones.
Jones relies on a real study about the effects of a herbicide on frog sexual health.
Keep talking.
Frog sexual health. What'd you say?
We can't say it on air.
No, I don't believe that.
Yeah, it wasn't though. Go ahead, keep going. Tell me how the frogs are gay.
He distorts the study's conclusion as late as October 2018. His website InfoWars published articles with proof of water turning frogs gay. It manipulates information from the study by claiming that frogs' gender is altered by a herbicide, atrazine. In fact, it affects their sexual development and fertility. While traces of the herbicide were found in water supplies of San Francisco, which has a high proportion of gay residents compared to other regions in America, it was determined that it is not a public health issue in the same study that InfoWars cites. The study actually doubts that atrazine has such a severe effect on humans because the herbicide does not accumulate in muscle tissue and humans do not spend their lives in water like frogs. So what Alex Jones read was that there is a hormone that potentially affects the sexual health of frogs. And then he said that was turning frogs and people gay. That's what happened.
People gay.
That's what happened. But the reason why
Isn't
I
that
said
LaCroix?
Hmm?
The sparkling water? What is it? LaCroix?
LaCroix? Gay
Yeah.
water? Is that what that is?
The San Francisco water.
You say San Francisco water.
So
I haven't drank that in years, actually.
what I was saying earlier about like the Epstein thing, like that's a conspiracy, totally happened, existed in the real world. It happened with events.
Story. So
When we're talking about like weird, fucked up conspiracy theories, like on this level, like there's just a distortion of reality, right? Like someone read a factoid one time and it's just been through this long, fucked up game of telephone. Like that's how we get the 10% number for how much of your brain you're using. Somebody read in a fucking study one time that we know 10% of our brain works, and then he goes like, oh yeah, we use 10% of our brain. And then this jack-off said it 60, 100 times, and then our fucking stupid asses read it on Facebook, and we're just like, yeah, we use 10% of our brains,
No, it's
bro.
from that stupid movie.
And like, no, that was the thing that happened. That movie was based on that premise.
Yeah.
So all that I am saying is all of this weird supernatural shit that happens to us.
Bryan, you could be the guy that died in the movie.
Yeah. There's no monster out here, and then it just jumps out the water and grabs you and pulls you back in.
See, I would be the guy that died in that movie, but I also don't fuck with things that I like don't want to know about or don't understand. Like
That's to me to a degree. Like the Aspen shit is fucked up, but I don't really care.
Yeah,
It's not interesting enough for me.
what am I gonna do?
The alien conversation, like multiverse shit, that's more interesting to me.
But the thing about the alien conversation that I'm saying is like we're having a conversation where that guy is like talking about like the things that can be said about that conversation, but the information that is being relayed through that guy has gone through this entirely fucked up game of telephone.
Have you officially gone to the island? Is that
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
like, is there like, what is it now, the current state?
I don't know. I don't know who owns it now.
I think it's
under
probably got seized by the government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's out of
Where is it? Like, where is it located at?
near the Bahamas, I believe.
Yeah. All I am saying is that all of the crazy shit that we've experienced in our lives, maybe not that crazy at all.
No, I get your logic.
Yeah.
I understand. That's how I view things too.
Yeah.
But I'm more like, maybe that weird dream you having these things could be just a
Well,
window
it's
to
like-
a different universe.
Well, that's the thing,
That's
though.
it.
It's like when, so if you think everything's like just a straight line in reality, right? Where, like, you know, Bigfoot and chupacabras and all these things don't exist.
This shit's fake.
But when you start really looking into the science of it, and when you start thinking that there is multiple dimensions, anything is possible now. It's opened up essentially what you call a can of worms.
No, the thing blew my mind with the Bigfoot can travel to dimensions.
You've
like,
never heard this? This is a real thing.
How does he do
Or
that?
this is what people. This is a theory about it.
Yeah. Well,
That's a clip. Can't wait to edit that.
How's he travel? How does he do that?
there is something so, I think, fundamentally insane to me about like the way that like belief propagates in this way. That's like so funny to me. Because like, what's going on?
Looks like that lamp's under her head. I'm like, don't hit the thing. I
That's so funny.
You see it?
Yeah, I do. Anyway, I'm not trying to juck anyone's yum. I'm not trying to be the asshole of the group.
You're not.
But maybe let's fucking dial it back a little bit on the conspiracy theories because half of the shit is fake. 75% of it is fake.
Honestly, I'm not trying to argue against you, but you don't know that either.
I don't know that either. But statistically, mathematically, it is way more likely that it's fake than it's not.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
That advert.
Oh my god!
Whatever.
Every time the
Regal
stupid
Cinema advert. You go to AMC, so you're safe.
Oh yeah, I'm an AMC fan.
I don't. I have to see that. It makes me angry every time I see it. Piss me off.
Oh, what's her name? Fucking girl.
Do you believe in vampires, bro?
Nah, I don't believe in that.
It was a disease that made your skin react to the sun. That's the
Got an answer for everything, huh?
Yeah, I do. It's the autism.
What's the correlation for that? I don't. What?
So vampirism as a mythology started because there's a genetic disease that makes you allergic to the sun, and so you walk out into the sun and your skin cracks and like breaks.
So where did fucking sucking blood come from?
It just got added through a fucking.
I don't believe in vampire. I'm just like, what is the correlation between? There isn't no like thing like mythical creature that I don't believe. Like,
do you think
like dragons like dinosaur bones they found scattered and combined it together and tell the story?
Do you think like okay, so on like back in like the 1400s, like they used to draw like ocean maps with like sea creatures in them and everything like that. Though I mean, and that was a long ass time ago. Yeah. And there's like a lot of creatures used to be a lot larger back in the day, and then slowly over time they get smaller and smaller. Do you ever think like back then that they may have actually stumbled across something that was actually that large?
No. What we have now was gotten worse, but there's nothing major back then that time period either. That's in terms of Earth time. Earth time was like, in terms of Earth time, that's like very small.
Yeah, like a couple of seconds.
Yeah. So no, what we see today is what they saw back in 1600s or whatever. But those creatures we saw in those drawings, like the classic weird fish creature.
Well, I mean, like what about woolly mammoths and stuff like that?
Yeah, the woolly mammoths. That's the thing.
Yeah.
We have meat of that too. We're afraid.
Yeah, we regrew it.
Yeah, we're afraid to eat it, but we
regrew it.
Yeah, we regrew it. We found a sample and then we grew it.
That's conspiracy.
No, that's a meatball they have.
That happened. It's a mammoth meatball.
Yeah, it's about this big.
What do you not believe that?
No, but
you believe Bigfoot traveling through dimensions.
This is what you sound like.
Yeah, what are we fucking talking about? What are we doing?
That's what you do sound like. But what we're saying is real. But no, what you're saying, those weird creatures and drawings you see on those maps, there are probably likely are animals they probably exaggerate those creatures or kind of like, for example, like the Bible mentions the behemoth or whatever.
Yeah.
Just probably a rhino.
Behemoth?
It means big. It could be a
this
rhino.
This was in the group text. I remember now. We were talking about the behemoth.
Yeah, it just probably been a
or
rhino.
Or the leviathan.
Yeah, leviathan. That's the sea creature, right?
Well, actually, the leviathan I think is like
is it whale?
Like a son of Satan.
It really?
Yeah.
That was a water god or something.
It is maybe in Atlantis, that movie Atlantis, but like
there's been
the Leviathan is a I think a son of Satan.
There's people out there that try to fight Atlantis out there.
What's your theory? Brian? How you feel about Atlantis?
Yeah,
didn't exist.
We would have fucking found it by now.
I don't know.
What about Polish people? You believe in Polish people?
No, they're not real.
I don't.
Pretty fake, actually.
Pierogies?
I mean, UK people fake. I don't think it exists. I think it's all act.
What is?
UK people. UK.
Oh, the British.
Yeah. I think it's an act. I don't really think.
You want to hear my crazy theory? Fucking Jack in the Box isn't real. I've never been inside of Jack in the Box. I know it's not real. If I've
never been inside one of Jack in the Box either. I've only been through their drive-through.
Dude,
that's close enough.
I'm telling you, what happens? You go into a Jack in the Box. It's just all cardboard, and you go, "What is this?" And then then the walls fall down. It's a big cage. You're like, no, they got me.
I don't understand how Alex Jones banned from social media, but he has a website. How does that work?
Because it's not a social media.
Because it's a privately owned website. He pays for it.
You pay for it, yeah.
I haven't been to the website in years.
You said you used to be scared of Mothman.
Yeah, the story scared me because I was naive. Same year I saw about the Chupacabra thing. Some dude told me about the Mothman story. What scared me was not the creature itself, but like the real event. Like it destroyed the bridge. I'm like, holy shit, did it really?
It's not like, no, it didn't destroy the bridge, but it was like they saw it on the bridge and then something bad happened.
Yeah, it's like an omen.
He's like an omen, right?
Yeah.
But like right now, I don't fucking believe in the Mothman.
Mothman is hard to believe, but
He's Batman.
But I've been to West Virginia once, and that is
I saw the Mothman.
No, that place is truly something weird.
Yeah, it's old.
It is genuinely like a weird ominous place to be in. Like if you
I went
wanted
to West Virginia. I didn't feel that way.
I'd have no desire
I
to
did.
go
I went
there.
into Snowshoe Mountain.
Okay.
And going up there, dude, it was like you go through certain areas and it's just like the sun is blocked out.
I think I'm the kind of person that like
Well, I'm
a
Googling West
lot
Virginia.
more things should bother him than they actually do.
You talking about me?
I think me. I think I'm the kind of person that a lot of things should bother me more than they actually
No,
do.
none of this stuff bothered me. I'm just like curious.
Because it's like you're describing that, and I was just like, oh yeah, I've been in that situation, and I felt totally fine.
What happened?
So maybe I
Bryan?
should just be
What happened in your early life?
more bothered than I am in real life.
I don't know. Maybe you just don't have like a sixth sense connection.
It's like the alien. I keep bringing the aliens, up, but like that happened. Like if they came in, I like be hella excited.
Yeah, me too.
People would fucking freak out though.
Yeah, I'd be super excited to see aliens land on the planet. I feel like that would be a historical shift.
Awesome.
That'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
Be phenomenal. But I just until that happens though, like it's fine.
Yeah, more shit of that than actual Bigfoot and all this thing we're talking
All right,
about.
let's run a hypothetical here. Let's say that you are running the government.
Yeah.
running the government.
You are running the government. Let's say that you're in charge.
How?
You made into a position where you have control over certain sectors and these recovery programs and maybe you're in a group with other people, but you are, let's say that you get to sit in rooms where stuff like this gets discussed. You have the general population, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how do you feel about like that getting out, causing mass panic and everything?
I think it'll be like 30 days of people freaking out, and that'll be fine.
No, I don't think so.
It depends because, like, you know how the alien thing conversation, how it happened. And from my impression, we should all be focused on that. But that didn't happen. We were so reasonably so cynical with the world around us that we just went. I remember telling you this, Bryan. Like, I was at the gym. I'm at the gym. Yeah. They just announced aliens the other day. I'm at the gym. I'm sitting on TV. And I had a moment run on the jogging. I'm jogging. I'm like, what the hell is happening?
That is the fun thing about being a person is like the biggest cultural moments in time happen and you don't even realize that they happened.
Yeah.
And like that's what that is.
But it's not 9/11 happening though.
Yeah.
Like it's like more like 9/11 happened and we reacted.
Yeah.
Okay. Because probably the first, but it happened and people reacted. But something like, again, aliens. It could be a fake story. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that happened. I feel like we should be more.
Well, it's kind of like that saying is like the winners write the history, or what is it? What is the term? What is the quote?
Winners write. Yeah,
Or
the history is written by the victor.
History is written by the victor.
So it really. I don't.
So whoever's in control writes what you believe.
Sorry, what was your hypothetical?
Oh, like I think that.
You said how people react. Right?
Well, it's like it would make sense to hide this shit.
No. What sense
to keep mass panic?
That causes people to fucking be cynical. That causes stories to be
like
made.
you don't know how to bring this up to the. Well, honestly, let's think about it like this: you are a country, and you get a piece of technology that, if you try to reverse engineer, you can get ahead of your enemies.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want another nation to figure out that you have certain technology, have someone try to break in, steal this technology.
What you're saying is that's different. Now I understand that there, but
I'm saying it's not far fetched that the government could be hiding.
Oh, I know the government.
These bodies.
Yeah. Oh, I know it.
In technology.
I know.
In fact, they're listening to us right now by phones. That's fucking true. The
NSA, yeah,
Snowden, all that shit. But but like when it comes to certain things, the reason why we have these conversations literally now, because the government is hiding things. If they've been open about it, people will panic. People will always panic with anything, even if it's a good thing. Yeah. People are gonna freak out. But the fact is, it would be more safer, in my opinion, in certain things at least, to announce like, "Hey, we've seen these things, or we have this thing, or whatever." Mm-hmm. There you go. Do what you want with the information.
I would be an open fucking book.
Yeah, I would be open book too. Depends
everything.
though. Like what you said with weapons. No, that's for human safety, American citizen safety. Understand that.
If we had so say I was in the government and I was smart about it, and I had a piece of technology that I was trying to reverse to get light years ahead of my enemy, and make me just the overall ruling power.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would never let that fucking.
No.
I wouldn't let it out to the general public because I don't need the general public and every other country to find out that I'm so above everyone else.
But government hiding Bigfoot if he's real, what the fuck is it gonna do?
Well, if he can travel through dimensions, a whole fucking lot.
I mean, but I'm saying
that's the thing.
I'm just saying
that's
like the government's hiding Bigfoot.
Yeah, I know.
And, like,
okay, but like imagine it though. Let's say that there was a fucking creature that could just travel through the goddamn like planes like that. There's a planeswalker straight through and through.
UFOs could be those things.
But exactly that, and some people theorize that like UFOs are from they're not from other dimensions or not. That's why we can't find them in.
Not interplanetary.
Yes.
Yeah, that's plausible.
Yeah.
And that's why they also say that they could probably crash because they're not. They get into here and then it's like they have failures.
What are you saying?
Like once they get they like because like if they're so smart, why do they crash?
Because things happen.
Yeah.
Just because they're more smart doesn't mean they're stronger or better than us. Things happen.
But there's been so many instances where they've seen these things and like
no, those things exist, but it's like.
But like, there's also like a billion things that, like about foot. Well, you can't always say. I'm just saying that like it's possible that one of these things on this list is probably real.
Jordan, break it down to me. What I want to dive deep right now.
Okay.
He's saying a lot of like. You're more.
What this is something.
I'm more open-minded.
Yeah,
about
than I imagine you'd be. So what do you believe?
What do you mean?
Like anything. It's open mic.
Open mic. What do I believe in?
Like for me, I don't know about you, but for me, there's things I do believe, and it's a logical reason.
Yeah.
They can be real or not real.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming there's things out there that's probably just bullshit. That you believe.
Oh yeah, sure. No.
Like I'm saying, like for me, like alien thing, I'm thinking from a science point of view, not some they here, but no, like that's could be beneficial for us or whatever, whatever, or it could be dimensional beings because of science, dimensional planes and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, for example, like the fucking.
But there was not a long time ago where people ruled in aliens as fake.
No, they did.
There was a point in time where people are like aliens are fake. They're not real.
What do you believe? Like, what is something out there that a conspiracy? It could be anything. Like, you don't think that's real.
I don't particularly lean one way or another with a lot of like the cryptic stuff.
Yeah, okay, but like, is there anything else there? Like,
maybe I think the most plausible thing would be the mole. What is it? How do you pronounce it, Bryan?
Not just this. I mean everything.
Oh, like
the Mokele Membe.
Makambe Bembe, yeah, because it's like a dinosaur that's in the Congo. That's the most plausible thing.
Like something like
he believes in ghosts.
Ghosts,
yeah. That's a surefire.
Ghosts are fucking real for sure. I've heard firsthand experience with a ghost.
Yeah.
I've had multiple experiences with ghosts.
Yeah, it's so funny to me how like we're all just so different people.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's so funny.
I don't know. I mean, I've had just different, and I don't know if I'm just like a little bit more charged towards like I'm on like I have my self-conscious of like.
Are you a cynic?
No, I'm not a cynic. I'm just very open-minded because I've just had a lot of weird experiences in my life.
You know what's crazy? I can say I'm a